Hey everybody, what's going on? Here's another educational podcast for Embers and Insights. I'm Chris.
And I'm Bobby.
And we're going to stay on theme for the last few episodes where we were talking about mini cigars. The first episode we did was about machine-made versus hand-rolled. And machine-made usually are typically, would consider them cigarillos, right?
Yes.
Speaking of cigarillos, the second episode we did was what's a cigarillo versus a cigar. And now today we're going to talk about some 10 best mini cigars for beginner cigar smokers. Now, mini cigars or cigarillos, if you didn't listen to the last episode, they're usually typically 4 inches long with a ring gauge of no more than like 32. Yep. Their smoke time, like this one, their smoke time is about a half hour long. So it's perfect for vacation, as Bobby mentioned earlier, and lunchtime or anything like that. So I think, first of all, mini cigars are ideal for beginners because you don't have to, beginner cigar smokers don't have to really jump into the pond really quickly with 2 feet yet. You know, you can kind of put your right foot in, or is it cold? Is it lukewarm? You know,
yeah.
Do I like it?
A little toe dip.
That's what, a little toe dip. That's what cigarillos are, in my opinion.
Agreed.
You know,
and I don't think I don't think there's any, cigarillos out there that are really like full bodied.
No.
Most of them are on the mild to medium side. Because it's hard to punt, to really pack in those strong Ligero tobaccos or some of those other tobaccos that get you sweating on some bigger ring gauge cigars.
Yeah.
That's another good reason why the minis may be good starting point for beginners.
I don't know about you. Where we live, it gets really cold in the wintertime. I'm never smoking a cigar outside in the dead of winter.
No.
But if I do decide to smoke a full-bodied cigar, like let's say at work or at a lounge after work, I don't mind smoking something fuller because I know I'm going to go outside and just the cold's going to hit me right there and bring me back to reality, right?
Yep.
I never smoke in my car, cigars in my car. I think it stinks up the car too much. I know a lot of people do.
So funny story. I used to, when I had a car, my first car, my old Mazda, it was a beater, and I knew I was just going to wind up selling it for parts because it was over 10 years old. And when I first started here, I used to smoke that thing out.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And it was not leather either. So definitely didn't smoke it in there.
So it's stuck in there. But I don't tend to smoke.
Months, but I don't smoke in my car now.
Yeah, I don't tend to smoke full-body cigars in the summer at all. I stay away from it in the summer, even at night, because it could still be humid as hell. 85 degrees, I'm like, I don't need that extra, me sweating and dying over here. Yeah. So I think cigarillos, mini cigars are perfect for really any occasion like that, especially if you're a beginner cigar smoker. So what we're going to do today is we're going to name 10 of our favorite mini cigars, and then we're going to pick out our favorite and talk a little bit about it, right?
Yeah.
So the first one on our list of 10 best mini cigars is the Davidoff Winston Churchill Petite Panatella. That goes about 4x38, medium to full bodied, with with 4 different tobaccos in it from the DR. So if you're looking to have a really luxurious cigar as a mini cigar, I think this is number 1 right there.
Absolutely.
We're not ranking them, but for me, it's the number 1.
Absolutely.
What you want to talk about the second cigar? Just a little bit about the second cigar?
Yeah. So second up, we have the Ashton Cigarillos, the Connecticut version. So, those are, Ashton is, again, another very high-class brand.
From the DR.
From the DR with some very luxurious, full-size hand-rolled cigars. So if you want to, try one of their cigarillos out, definitely try out the Ashton Cigarillos in the Connecticut.
It's like you're doing a review.
You're right.
Another cigar from the DR is the Romeo and Julieta Petite Bully. It's 4x38. It'll take you about 20 minutes to smoke. Indonesian wrapper, which I've noticed Indonesian Cameroon wrappers, they're like a dirty blonde, brown.
Yeah.
And they're very, very sweet. The Romeo and Julieta 1875 line is one of my favorite lines. In all honesty, they've done the Twisted Toro. Yeah. They've done the Midnight Twist that's the Nicaraguan. Sorry, the 1875. Yeah, The bully size is great.
Yeah, they have the Connecticut Nicaragua 1875,
yes,
which is really great.
They're just so good.
That Connecticut wrapper with the Nicaragua components in there.
But if you're new to Romeo cigars, I would try the Petite Bully from Romeo and Julieta. It's really smooth. It's medium bodied, and it won't be too much on your palate when you're smoking it. And like I said, I don't want to keep repeating myself. All of these are just great, just to kind of get your feet wet with smoking cigars, because these are top-notch premium cigars.
Yep. Next up, from Drew Estate, we got the Kentucky Fire Cured Ponies.
I like these. I
love these. You know, you get a bit of that. I think it's barn cured tobacco they use in there. It has a San Andres wrapper, which is another, one of my favorites, like I talked about in the previous podcast. This cigar is from Nicaragua, and it takes about 15, 20 minutes to smoke. Most of these cigars on here are around that same time range.
What I love about this cigar, sorry.
Go ahead, man.
What I love about the cigar is like you're at a bonfire. Like I remember I smoked this one. I went home and my wife was like, "Were you bonfire? Like I really smell it today." And there's not a lot of times where I go home and I'll take my clothes off from work, get something more comfortable, and I smell like what I smoked that day. But with this, I was like, man, this is very potent. But I love the smell. Oh
yeah, me too. This is one of my top favorites. I guess if we want to use the word non-traditional. I love these, and one of the other ones coming up on our list. I'll save that for when we get there. But
all right, the next cigar on our list is the Rocky Patel Vintage 1990 Juniors, hailing from Honduras. It has tobaccos from Nicaragua and Dominican Republic for the binder and filler. This one is a very mellow to medium bodied one. Also coming in at 4x38, so you're looking at like a 20-minute smoke time.
Yep.
I feel like Rocky does a great job especially with their vintage lines. All the different vintage lines they have, I think, brings you back into the vintage 1990s. So I feel like it transports you back in time to be like, all right, this is how it was, how tobaccos were, how cigars might have been back 35 years ago.
Scary.
It's very scary. But no, I think this one is a great one to add to your collection. If you're new to cigar smoking, I would really suggest checking out Rocky Patel's portfolio. I think they have something for everybody. The Java mints, the infused with, the Rocky Patel Javas. I think they collaborated with Drew Estate on those.
Yes. There's a mint. I think
there was a coffee.
There's a mint.
Or Java.
A Java.
That's the only ones I really
red.
Yes, yeah. So you'll get a light, and I don't know if they sell them in minis, but they're like
so.
They're box press. They have a waif
size. I'm not sure if that's still active.
Yeah, they're box press.
If you can find them.
Yeah, they're worth it. But if you're starting out, I would do the Rocky Patel Vintage 1990.
And next up was the one I was previously talking about. Another one from Drew Estate, the Tobacco Especial Cafecitas. They are from Nicaragua as well, with the Connecticut wrapper and binder and filler from Nicaragua. This is a 4x32 size, so it may be a little under 20 minutes, more around 15 minutes of smoking time. This cigar, you'll pick up, hints of coffee, as this is another non-traditional one from Drew Estate. So if you want to try to have it in the morning or anytime you're really enjoying a coffee, I think this is, just the perfect cigar to kind of pair well with whatever kind of coffee, or if you're having an espresso, it goes great together.
Drew Estate is very unique. I think a lot of cigar companies are, so I'm not really breaking news here, but they could do some great stuff like the Tobacco Especial, then turn around and do like the Florida Sun Grown. I know people are I've seen people online just a little iffy about that, but I think, for Connecticut, I think that's an interesting one. Then they go ahead and they do like the Shade to Black collaboration with Metallica, the lead singer from Metallica. They're all over the place in a good way. They have something for everybody. I think the Tobacco Especial, if you love coffee, this one is perfect for you then. The next one is another brand and line I really, really enjoy. And I smoked, I believe, this this line before starting here, and I was like, "What is this?" It was really good, but it's the Macanudo Ascot, 4.25 by 32, so it'll take you about 15 minutes to smoke, which is perfect. Comes from the Dominican Republic, has a Connecticut wrapper, filler tobaccos from the Dominican Republic and Mexico with a Mexican binder. Just the Connecticut wrapper, you see it and you're like, oh man, this is probably gonna. And it is a mellow bodied cigar. At first, when you first light it up for me, it was kind of like it kind of like woke me up, jolted me, and then it just smoothed out the rest of the way.
Yeah.
This is a cigar I would pair with like a Dr. Pepper or soda of your choice. And I love swimming during the summer, or I love going out on the lake. This is something where, once you dock your boat, if you want to go fishing or not, just hang out. I think this is a perfect cigar to like start your day off right early in the morning or to wrap up your day at night. So this is a really, like I said, if you are a beginner cigar smoker, this is probably, man, if I had to give like 5 cigars to a beginner, I think this would be one of them to start off.
Exactly. I was just going to, I was going to second your comment there because, just with the mellow body of the cigar, like you mentioned, it's not too harsh. It's not anything too overpowering, and it can definitely get a new cigar smoker really kind of acclimated to what they're going to set up for if you start moving up to bigger sizes, your Robustos, your Toros, etc.
Yeah.
But next up on the list, we have Swisher Sweets. So these are kind of venturing off of, the top, premium cigar brands that we've mentioned before. But you have to give some love to the classics that have been around for a while. Swisher Sweets, they're typically, smoke time is around 10 minutes with those. They're little smaller formats. The country of origin of the Swisher Sweets, they're both manufactured in the U.S. and in the Dominican Republic, the Swisher Sweets facilities. It's a very popular brand in the mini cigar world. So, we had to have it on this list. It's tried and true.
It's popular for many reasons, but it is one of the OG mini cigars that you can buy and enjoy.
Yes.
So, the next one is from Drew Estate as well, the Acid Blue Blondie. Is this infused?
It's technically infused, yes. It's technically infused.
So yeah, this one hails from Nicaragua with binder and filler tobacco from that country, and it is cloaked in a Connecticut shade wrapper that's medium, mellow to medium. Another 4x38 cigar. I seem to be getting all those ones. So yeah, it'll be about a 20-minute smoke time. Acid cigars in general, I think, whether you like them or not, I think it's a staple when you start smoking cigars. When I first started smoking, I believe my boss at the time handed me a few acid cigars. I remember the Acid 20th came out the year I started, that when it came out in PCA. It was infused, but it was, I don't know what kind of, I'd have to look it up. I think I'll look it up and see if I'm right, but it has to be like a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. It's just super dark. I might be wrong, or it might be Mexican San Andreas. Anyway, I'll look it up.
But it's not as overpowering as the typical infused.
No, it wasn't. No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Blue Blondie, if it is infused and it's a little sweet, I would recommend having it. I know it might sound like super lame, but you could just have it with water. I don't think you need to add I don't think you need to add coffee to it. A beer might be nice with it. I just feel like the conflicting flavor notes would kind of be like, what the hell's going on here?
Yes.
So with water, or with the Blue Blondie, I would recommend water for it. But it is super smooth. Perfect cigar for after dinner, especially if you are, you're full and you don't want anything heavy, to
Call
smoke.
Your dessert.
Yeah, it could be your dessert.
Yep.
One of many cigars that can replace your desserts. But yeah, the Blue Blondie is our 9th cigar on our list. And do you want to wrap it up with our 10th cigar that we recommend for beginners?
Absolutely, yeah. So this is the Monte Cristo Memories. So these are produced in the Dominican Republic using a Connecticut wrapper with binder and filler, both from the Dominican Republic as well. This is a 4x33 format. So typically around a 15-minute smoke time, maybe leaning more towards 20 minutes, depending on how fast you're smoking. But I just think overall, the Monte Cristo Memories, it's Monte Cristo is one of the most famous brands in the cigar industry. So being able to take that smaller format cigar and being able to actually just kind of enjoy it and not having to devote so much time to it, or if you're just starting out new and you don't want to have to smoke a 6x54 Toro and spend a couple hours smoking, this is perfect for you.
Yeah, I mean, man, there's not much else I could piggyback off of that, especially when you're talking about Monte Cristo. If I've said it before, I apologize, but the Monte Cristo Vintage White Series Connecticut was the first cigar I ever smoked.
Okay, wow.
Ever. The one that my stepdad handed me, like, I forgot I don't know. I probably graduated college, and he's like, here you go. Here's to being a real man. Here's your cigar. And it was super smooth, dude. It was delicious. And ever since then, I really don't think I've had a Monte Cristo where I was like, ugh,
Yeah.
There's been some brands out there where I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
what are you, like, this is not you. But Monte Cristo has just, since I've probably been smoking cigars religiously for the last, 12 years, 13 years. I really haven't had a Monte Cristo where I was like, this ain't it,
Yeah.
And
No,
and I
they
think it
always-
translates from, your premium cigar lines and sizes down to mini cigars. I think you're never, like, in the episode or two before, I was talking about the Monte Cristo White and the Cigarillo. That's one of the best cigars I've had.
Yeah.
So the Monte Cristo Memories is like, I think it's right up there as well.
Agreed. And I think that they've put so much, I don't know if it's quality control or just so much behind the brand where they respect it so much and they know it's a well-respected brand in the world that they make, these minis just as good as cigarillos, I should say, just as good as any other Monte Cristo out there on the market. And just like we were saying with the Macanudo Ascot, I think this having the mellow medium body that it does is another, top choice on this list for a beginner cigar smoker.
So out of all 10 of these, really quickly before we wrap up,
Yeah.
what's your go-to one?
So I'm going to have to say, I know we have a lot on here from Drew Estate that I really do enjoy, but my favorite is the Davidoff Petite Panatellas. I really just love those. That's my vacation cigar. I'll pick up a couple of those, or the Davidoff Mini Cigarillos, the packs of 20. They're great for vacation, and they also just released last year the Late Hour Petite Panatella, which is another great one that you should try.
That's a great one. Oh my God.
Yeah,
that was great.
It's excellent. So I definitely recommend trying to pick up those on cigars.com. And what's yours, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so I mean, if you know me or if you don't, it really doesn't matter. But I love having cigars with coffee. If you see me in any video, I probably will have a cup of coffee with me. I think they work out so well together. So I think it only makes sense that my favorite one on here, although all of them are really good, I would say Davidoff and Ashton are probably some of my favorite brands ever. I have to go with the Tobacco Special.
All right.
I remember going to a Barn Smoker a few years ago, and they had a Tobacco Special booth where they were selling their coffee and a cigar alongside it. And I was there. We were done filming for the event. And I just sat there in the middle of July in Connecticut in the tobacco fields, and I was enjoying a cup of coffee in the middle of the day with the cigar. I was like, can't get much better than this.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah,
it was Nicaraguan coffee that they had there?
Yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you are, starting out in cigars, if you are looking for pairing options, I would highly recommend coffee. But the Tobacco Special for your coffee break at lunch or at work, if you're owed a 20-minute break, go outside and start enjoying the nice weather, have the Tobacco Special and a nice cup of coffee, iced coffee, anything coffee. I would recommend that. So we hope you guys enjoyed our episode of the 10 best mini cigars for beginners. Go please check out Embers and Insights blog, where you can find a bunch of beginner content information there. Once again, I'm Chris.
And I'm Bobby.
And thank you guys for watching.